This is the exterior inspection. We have some rodent damage up here, little trim board. That's indicating they're going on the roof. They're using that to sharpen their teeth. Now it's water penetration in this whole area here. We've got failing caulking here. And that's failing because the actual structure's moving, the bay window, and you can see it's sprung here as it's actually expanded with the water getting in. Somebody's tried to hold it in place using screws. It's ineffective. What you've got to do is stop the cause of it, which is water penetration. We have soffit ventilation at the eaves at the left elevation. We have a small bit of structural movement here, crack. All that needs to happen there is for it to be caulked. Well, actually not caulked, I don't like caulking. That really ought to be pointed. Use a cement. You want to get rid of holes like this because you can get water in there. The caulking is failing at the windows. This is really a maintenance issue. Caulking needs to be replaced every 2 to 3 years. It doesn't happen because people forget about it. You see up here there's a little bit of structural movement, and you see the windows moved away from the lintel. We have vinyl siding. A little bit of failing in the caulking here, and there's a hole that should be caulked up there where the cable to the television comes through. These holes should be filled with cement. You don't want the water getting through those holes. A little bit of movement here, you can see, along here. Again, it's common settlement. All you need to do is caulk those sort of things. You fix it, and you turn something that at the moment is cosmetic. If you ignore it, it changes from cosmetic to damage. You can see the caulking around here. Renew the caulking around all the doors and windows. Not a bad thing to do every couple of years. We're at the right elevation now. We have an electrical grounding bar. conduit for the sprinkler system has come away. You can see it's loose. Really wants to be reattached to the wall. Left like this, it's going to break. It's already broken, so that whole thing really should be replaced. So we've seen on the left hand elevation how we've got the little signs of common settlement. Here we've got a complete sign of settlement. We have a differential crack. It's running down here. Now this is in the early stages. You see it's going down. It's not opened up much. We're running down the wall here. Finishes about here. And just watch it. It's too small even to remortar at the moment, to repoint. But up here, where we've got a crack, that should be pointed because water can get down into there and inside the house. We've got more of the movement here, you can see, and we've got the crack running down. This is an expansion crack. You just re-silicone over it, or pull that silicone out. Yeah, pull it out. Then re-silicone it. It'll be fine. This really needs to be pointed. A lot of water should be getting in here. Okay, now we have significant movement. So up to now it's been pretty cosmetic. If you want to ask me a question, well, what's cosmetic and what's not? This is not cosmetic. So we have real movement. You can see here we've got it opening up between the wall and the window. The window's staying where it is. The wall is moving in that direction there. Then we have this is opened up here. Considerable amount of water will be going in, but it's also going to allow warm, humid air in. And then we have the crack. And it's running down diagonally to this point here, where it actually separates and goes in two directions. One in that direction, one in that direction. So having found that and found the telltale signs, I think you should have the foundation investigated further. You might like to consult a specialist in foundations as to about what should be done. My feeling is that the recommendation you will get is the ground around the foundation needs to be more moist, rehydrated, as this is probably a cause of the drought. This is drying out of the ground around the house. Down here at the foundation level we have a post-tension cable end that's exposed, and there are a number of them around the building. I'm just going to photograph this one, but recommend all of them are reparged. Again, we've got exposed post-tension cable ends. Now we're moving to the front elevation. We have bushes. They are away from the building, which is good. They have good clearance. We have a small area here which is going to cause pooling, but it can drain. This little retaining wall will drain. So I have indications of movement up here. We have more rodent activity above us here. You see where they've been chewing on it. They're getting on via the tree. You need to cut the tree back. Here we've lost cement from the mortar, and in that area there it needs to be sealed. We don't want holes like that. portico's looking okay. Small little openings in the brick of cement, but they can be repointed. Up here though, we've got a hole between the rake and the wall that needs to be repointed. Up here we've got a crack going down to the roof line here at the start of the rake. So we're at the left elevation, the other side of the fence. We've completed the circumnavigation of the house. The grading is generally good around the house. You see here we've got two large trees. They expirate a lot of water, and so you want to keep them cut back. You want to cut them back hard. You do not want them going over the fence. Already I've found a number of points where rodents can get onto the roof via the tree. Cut them back a couple of feet and you won't get the rodents on the house. A good slope away from the house at the left elevation. The rear elevation has flat work around the pool. This area here is where pooling can be created, but it has a nice drain. However, having said that, it's still not going to drain that well because it's got a build-up around it. That's not necessarily. You should take those bricks away and then allow the water to get to that drain easily. This is the driveway at the rear elevation. You can see, well, you can't see, you might not be able to see it on the video. Videos tend to flatten, but we've got the drive is sloping towards the garage, and then there's a slight indentation here, but it might tend to, let's go here, yeah, it's intended to drain either side, but this addition here is going to block it draining. Now, unless it actually goes into the garage when it rains a lot, there's nothing to worry about. If it does pool with the weather that we have in Texas, it's not going to give us much problems. It'll dry out very quickly. No large cracks in the patio, in the drive. The drive looks to be in reasonable condition. This is the right elevation. We have it sloping away. We've got a good swale here. The roof inspection, we're at the left front elevation. You can see the flashings, the counter flashing here over the top of the step flashing. You can see where the mortar's come away. It's got to be repointed. The gutters are full of debris at the front elevation, so they'll be non-functional, they'll be flooding. These gutters need to be cleared out to get them to work. roof inspection. So far we've found no discrepancies with the roof. All the penetrations, with boot penetrations such as this one here, are all in good order. I cannot see any signs of mechanical damage either from installation or from weather. Well, chimney chase is in poor condition. You can see here we've got the trim boards coming away. The actual chimney cap itself is loose. It's being held here by wire. That is not a good thing to do. The time it takes you to wire that on, you could have fitted it properly. You see here the nails are sprung. More openings here. You've got water penetrating and causing the materials around the chimney to deteriorate. So this is all in need of repair. Static inspection. The insulation on the cold pipe to the HVAC unit is missing in places, and we're sweating. So the flue is not bonded, and there is no sediment trap on the gas line feeding the HVAC unit. There's no P-trap on the secondary drain line, on the primary drain line, sorry. No P-trap on the primary drain line. But it may be going to a vanity unit below, in which case it doesn't need a P-trap here. We'll check that out. The covers on the junction boxes and switch boxes are plastic, they should be metal. This is the door between the house and the garage. As such, it's a fire door. You can see it's metal covered. Got a honeycomb interior, and it holds back fire for about 20 minutes or more. Now, because it's a fire door, it should be self-closing, and that's normally achieved by self-closing hinges on the door here. Clearly this one doesn't self-close, so that actually creates a hazard. The door could be left open, a fire could start in the garage, and then it would penetrate. Now, in addition to that, there are holes in the sheetrock in different places, like here. And there's holes up here in the sheetrock. And above us here we have an attic access, and it's not sealed. So consequently, any fumes that are in this area can now travel up into the attic and then enter the house. Now here's another thing. The majority of fires that start in the garage. And here we are in the garage, and anything that's going to set fire to the place will be the car, and the flames will be able to go up through holes like here over the top of the water heater. Here where it's been damaged sheetrock, All of this is supposed to be sealed. This garage sheetrock is normally thicker than the normal sheetrock used in the rest of the house. Okay, we have no electronic sensors on the garage door to stop it closing should an obstruction get in here. Insulation missing from the coal pipe here. The water pressure for the house is £100 per square inch. That's quite excessive. It shouldn't exceed £80. In fact, it needs to be between 40 and 80, and so you're going to require some reduction in this water pressure, otherwise it leads to damage to pipes, to equipment such as dishwashers, fridges, etc. Water meter and an isolation valve located at the front, near the curb, at the end of the path to the front door. Okay, we've got an island effectively here, and because we've got an island, we should have a vent pipe, special configuration for the vent pipe, and it's not. So I don't think this sink is vented. up on the roof here is a vent, and that is venting the island. We're missing caulking from around the boss here. Okay, this is turning it right, this is turning it left. We should turn it left for cold, for hot, and turn it right for cold. It's actually reversed, it's the other way round. When you have good functional flow, good functional flow. Zone 1 is the flower beds at the front elevation. Zone 2 is the right elevation. Zone 3 is the right front lawn. Zone 4 is the front elevation, that's the curb, and we have a dysfunctional head at the front here. Zone 5 is the front left elevation. Zone 6, right elevation. Zone 7, rear elevation.